Welcome back to Mike Drop Reviews. Not only is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 an epic, action-packed, heart-wrenching superhero film, it is also a fantastic conclusion to the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is such an emotional roller coaster, and the way that this movie is done, it almost like messes with you in a sense. It's kind of like a heartbeat, like an EKG, how it's going up and coming down. The pacing, the story of the movie is progressing. They're getting closer to, completing a mission or whatever. There's humor thrown into that, and you're up here. Then they keep going back to something, and they're progressing further in that story. And then you were here, and then they send you back down here. And that style of pacing is just put in your face the whole entire movie. Just when you think that, you're comfortable and like that's the last that you've seen of that, and or you kind of just forgot about it because they've kind of gone to the next step. Nope, they bring you right back in and be like, hey, remember we were talking about this before? Okay, well, we're going to continue to talk about it, and we're going to make it even worse, and you're going to cry, and you're going to be emotional, and you're going to watch it. And it's so impressively done, and I bawled my eyes out like 3 or 4 times. With a new installment in the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, we get new characters. Some of the new characters in this film are Adam Warlock, who is played by Will Poulter. His presence in the film doesn't feel overwhelming, and I think they did a great job of introducing his character. We get Cosmo the Space Dog, who is voiced by Maria Bakalova. He's originally kind of has a deep Russian voice, and they've now changed Cosmo to a female golden retriever Labrador. And after seeing the movie, not really a big deal. But I will say there were some certain lines that I kind of had trouble hearing or had trouble understanding. And I think it's kind of just Maria Bakalova's kind of like high-pitched voice mixed with how Cosmo actually talks in the movie. And then she is imitating a Russian accent, so kind of all of those combined make it a little bit difficult to understand. And then, without a doubt, hands down, the best new character introduced in this movie is the High Evolutionary, who is played by Herbert Wyndham. And my God, is he menacing, disgusting, intelligent, and just downright evil. The High Evolutionary is what I thought Kang the Conqueror was going to be in Ant-Man Quantumania. Herbert Wyndham, I mean, absolutely unreal performance, and the things that he had to do and had to say in this movie, it's just almost not even human, just because it's so just purely evil and horrible. But he plays the character so well, and it is absolutely just an insane performance. And the High Evolutionary, because of Herbert Wyndham's performance, has cemented himself in the Mount Rushmore of MCU villains. So that being Mount Rushmore 4. So the High Evolutionary is 100% on the Mount Rushmore of MCU villains. And I think the other three, I would say, probably are Thanos, Loki, and Killmonger. And then probably Ultron would be an honorary mention. One of the best parts of the Guardians of the Galaxy films has been the soundtrack. Volume 3 doesn't steer from that path. Volume 3's soundtrack is absolutely phenomenal, and it's up to par, if not better, than Volumes 1 and 2. And you may actually hear some recurring songs that have maybe been in the previous Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And speaking of the Volume 3 soundtrack, one of the songs that does play in this movie plays during, I'm not going to say what song it is, I'll leave that for a surprise, but this song plays during the kind of main action sequence in Volume 3, and it is the best action sequence in all three of the Guardians films, hands down. And the fact that this song that you will find out when you see the movie is playing while this is happening, it makes the action sequence an absolute 10 out of 10. The action itself, kind of where it's taking place, the camera kind of panning and moving around, in the song, it's absolutely perfect. Best action sequence in all of the Guardians films, hands down. One of the best parts of the Guardians of the Galaxy films, and what makes it stand out from the rest of the MCU, is the on-screen chemistry between characters. The chemistry that these characters have, and that the actors and actresses have off-screen, is something truly special, and I think it absolutely shines in this movie. And I think the fact that they knew that this was going to be the last ride, this was going to be the last time that we saw this core, this team, this family of Guardians of the Galaxy together, they knew that they had to step up their game and just, give the performance of a lifetime. And I don't think that there's a single moment within this movie where you can't tell that they truly gave it their all, and they wanted to just give absolutely everything they had, because the chemistry is truly amazing, and it's arguably the best part of Volume 3. So as we know from the trailers and teasers and articles and everything that came out before this movie, James Gunn said that, this was going to be the last time that we see this team of Guardians, and that this movie was really going to focus on Rocket's origin, which I actually thought we were going to kind of see more of in Volume 2, but I was really happy to hear, a couple years ago, that Volume 3 would really be emphasizing Rocket's origin. And, I wish that I didn't wish for that. I don't have words, and I'm not going to give anything away, but just wow. And I'm not saying whether that's a good wow or a bad wow, but just maybe not wow, but damn. I think damn is a more accurate. Damn and why. Speaking of James Gunn, if you didn't appreciate James Gunn's writing and directing in the two previous Guardians of the Galaxy films, this movie is definitely gonna change that. And it sucks because now he's leaving the MCU, as he's now co-CEO or co-head of DC Studios. The MCU is insanely is desperately going to miss his writing and directing in their movies. And with the Russo brothers leaving a few years ago, and now James Gunn leaving, the MCU really, and Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty are only a couple years away. They really need to buckle up and strap in and get some unreal writers, whether it's writers and directors that they've had in the past, or very established ones that can nail a big time Marvel movie. They got to get the ball rolling. But James Gunn's, he's just so phenomenal, and I'm so glad that they rehired him after that old tweet mishap and stuff like that, because I couldn't imagine a conclusion to the Guardians trilogy without James Gunn at the helm. It just would not have. I don't know what it would have been, and honestly, I don't know if I know Dave Bautista wouldn't have came back as Drax, and who knows if other characters would have been like, what, this is not the direction we want these characters. So we're insanely lucky to have had James Gunn write and direct the three Guardians films, because he truly did an absolutely just fantastic job, and he is going to be missed 100%. But best wishes to him, and I wish the best to him at DC Studios, and I hope that he can this success that he's had writing MCU movies in the Guardians of the Galaxy, I hope that translates into his Superman legacy and his other movies over at DC. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is 100% a top 10 MCU movie for me. And I think that this third installment now confirms that the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy is the best trilogy in the MCU. I had previously had the Captain America trilogy as the best trilogy in the MCU, but I think with seeing Volume 3 and seeing how it is just so impressively connected to the two previous films, and not that the Captain America films weren't, but there's just something about the emotional weight of all of the Guardians movies, and when you put that all together, I don't think any of the other trilogies, except for Captain America, can even come close. Iron Man, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, and Thor. I think Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy is number one for sure, Cap being two, and then the rest would be after. It hits hard, it hits home, it reminds you of past movies, and it makes you laugh, it makes you smile, it makes you cry, but it is just such an incredible movie, and for me, it is up there with Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and Captain America, the Winter Soldier. It is that good, and I'd have to say that I give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 a 9.5. It is Marvel writing and Marvel essentially at its peak, and I know that is what so many fans have been wanting, and there's just been so much negative opinions and negative thoughts about Marvel, with Phase 4 and the beginning of Phase 5. This is not that. This is old school MCU. This is how Guardians of the Galaxy 1 felt. This is what the MCU is all about, and it's so well done. So that is a review. Let me know what you guys thought about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 down below in the comments. If you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. This is MikeDropReviews. I'll see you guys next time. One last thing before I go. Just wanted to say thank you to James Gunn, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, Pom Klementieff, and everyone else involved. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for the frickin' Guardians of the Galaxy.